Hello and welcome to another episode of our TOEFL vocabulary series, where we help you master the essential academic words you need to score high on the day of the test. If you've been following our lessons, you know how often the TOEFL test covers topics from different fields, like history, astronomy, biology, and archaeology. Feel free to check out these videos if you haven't watched them yet. Now, today, we're stepping into a world full of creativity and expression, the world of art. Art is more than just paintings on a wall. It reflects culture, emotion, and history. On the TOEFL, you'll often see reading passages and lectures about ancient art history, famous artists, and the techniques they used. So learning this vocabulary will help you tackle both sections and will also give you an advantage in integrated essays and speaking question type 4. Let's begin. As always, I've divided the words we'll cover into categories. The first category is people in art. The most common word in this category is artist. An artist is someone who creates art, which can include painters, sculptors, and photographers. For example, Van Gogh is one of the most famous artists in the world. Who's your favorite artist? Share in the comments below. Next is a painter. It's a type of artist who creates pictures using paint. Then we have a sculptor, an artist who makes sculptures, three-dimensional works of art, usually made from stone, wood, or metal. Michelangelo, for example, was both a talented painter and a sculptor. You already know the word artist, but what about artistic? This adjective describes anything related to art or showing creativity. For example, she has an artistic style that is easy to recognize. On the TOEFL test, you'll often come across phrases like artistic movement, artistic expression, artistic freedom, and artistic style. An artistic movement refers to a group of artists who share similar ideas or styles during a particular period. For example, Impressionism was an important artistic movement in the 19th century. Now, let's look at a short text, similar to something you might see in a TOEFL reading passage. The Vienna Secession movement was a pivotal moment in Viennese art history. It marked a dramatic shift in the approach to art. Gustav Klimt, the famous Austrian painter, was one of the leading figures of this artistic movement that sought to challenge traditional artistic conventions and create a new, modern identity for art and design. Through their innovative techniques, expressionistic forms, and bold use of color, Klimt and his contemporaries transformed Austrian art and gained international acclaim for their contributions to the art world. Now, let's review the key words and phrases from this paragraph. Pivotal, very important, or key. Shift, a change from one thing to another. Painter, artistic movement, artistic conventions, the usual or traditional ways of creating art. Bold use of color, using strong, bright, or unusual colors in art. A bold person, by the way, is someone willing to take risks. Contemporaries, people who live or work at the same time as someone else. Shakespeare and Cervantes, for example, were contemporaries. To gain international acclaim, to become famous and respected around the world. All these words often appear in TOEFL reading passages and lectures, so if you don't know some of them, make sure to write them down. Now let's return to the typical collocations with the word artistic. Artistic expression, expressing thoughts or emotions through art. Artistic freedom, the freedom an artist has to create without restrictions. Artistic style is the unique way an artist creates their work. For example, Picasso's artistic style changed several times during his life. One very common period you'll read about in TOEFL texts is the Renaissance. This is our next word. The Renaissance was a time of great artistic and cultural growth in Europe, starting in the 14th century. It gave us many of the world's most iconic works of art. Speaking of which, iconic works are pieces of art that are instantly recognizable and culturally important. The Mona Lisa is one of the most iconic works in history. A slightly more advanced word is a masterpiece, a work of outstanding skill or creativity. We often call an artist's best work a masterpiece. The second category is artworks and styles. Let's talk about the creations themselves. One of the most common words here is painting. A picture made with paint on a surface, usually a canvas or wall. Next is sculpture, which I mentioned earlier. A sculpture is a piece of art made by shaping stone, wood, or other materials. Then there is a portrait. A painting, drawing, or photo of a person, usually focusing on the face and shoulders. Some famous portrait paintings include Girl with a Pearl Earring, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, Portrait of Dora Maar by Picasso, Napoleon Crossing the Alps, and many others. Next is landscape. A picture of natural scenery like mountains, forests, or rivers. What are some of your favorite landscape paintings? The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, Water Lilies by Claude Monet, Fisherman at Sea by Turner, or The Ninth Wave by Ayvazovsky. Another interesting term is a mural. It's a large painting done directly on a wall or ceiling. Diego Rivera was famous for his colorful murals in public buildings. We have an entire course dedicated to TOEFL preparation, where we teach you all the words you need to know to consistently score high on every section of the test. You'll get topic-based vocabulary lists. You can study daily on Quizlet, high-scoring templates for speaking and writing, strategies for each question type, and more. You'll also get free access to the LinguaTOEFL platform, where you can take practice tests that simulate the real exam, drill different reading question types, get your speaking and writing responses scored, and build your vocabulary through interactive quizzes. Plus, you'll receive a 5% discount on your TOEFL test when you use our promo code. I'll leave the link below. Click on it to check out the program and join our TOEFL community. Now, the third category is techniques and materials. When reading about art in TOEFL texts, you'll often come across the word canvas, a strong cloth where painters apply their paint. The painter prepared the canvas before starting the portrait. Another useful word is the verb to depict. It means to show or represent something through art. For example, this painting depicts a battle scene. Then there is a sketch, a simple, quick drawing, often made before creating the final artwork. Also, keep in mind the word composition. In art, this word refers to how elements like people, objects, and colors are arranged in a painting. For example, the composition of the painting draws your attention to the center. The fourth category is art and history. Again, in TOEFL texts, you'll often come across references to art galleries. An art gallery is a place where art is displayed to the public. We visited an art gallery in Paris to see modern paintings, exhibition, an event where many artworks are shown to the public. The exhibition of Renaissance art attracted thousands of visitors. Now, a patron is someone who supports and pays artists to create their work. Many Renaissance artists were supported by wealthy patrons. A legacy is an artist's impact or the influence they leave behind. Da Vinci's legacy continues to inspire artists today. The verb to immortalize is another word you'll often see in TOEFL reading passages about art. It means to make someone or something remembered forever, often through art. For example, the portrait immortalizes the queen in her youth. The last word in this category is the word heritage. Cultural or artistic heritage refers to traditions, monuments, or works of art passed down through generations. The Louvre Museum protects France's artistic heritage. The fifth category is about describing art. When we describe paintings, we often mention brushstrokes, the marks left by a painter's brush. For example, the artist's rough brushstrokes give the painting a sense of movement. In Impressionism, the brushstrokes are visible, loose, and often quick, while in realism, they're smooth and blended. Some paintings are full of vibrant colors, while others have dull or muted colors. Vibrant colors are bright and lively, like reds and yellows. Dull hues are instead faded shades of color. The painting's dull hues create a sad, quiet mood. Muted colors are softer, less intense colors. The artist used muted colors to reflect the calm atmosphere of the scene. Look at this painting. Does it use vibrant colors or dull and muted colors? And what about this one? To describe how a painting makes you feel, you can use the verb to exude, which means to radiate a certain quality, feeling, or attitude. For example, a portrait can exude elegance, serenity, mystery, power, joy, etc. Another useful verb is to adorn. To adorn means to decorate. The walls were adorned with beautiful murals. We also use the verb to capture to describe how an artwork shows a feeling, moment, or person. The artist managed to capture the sadness in her eyes. The painting captures a sense of serenity. Now, let's bring these terms to life with a true story about one of the most amazing pieces of art in history. Listen carefully and try to understand as much as you can. Also, write down the words you remember from our lecture that are used in the story. This way, you'll remember them better and see how they are used in context. The story of Klimt's portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. In the early 1900s, Gustav Klimt, a famous Austrian painter, created one of his most iconic works, the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. This portrait, also called The Woman in Gold, became one of the most celebrated paintings of his time. Klimt was known for his use of gold leaf, which added a rich and luxurious quality to the composition. The portrait depicts Adele, a wealthy woman and a key patron of the arts in Vienna. She supported many artistic movements and artists, including Klimt himself. Painted on a large canvas, this artwork is full of vibrant colors and golden hues, which adorn the figure of Adele. Klimt's signature brushstrokes and bold style helped immortalize Adele as a symbol of Vienna's golden age. The painting remained in the Bloch-Bauer family's collection until it was stolen during World War II. For years, the painting was displayed in a famous art gallery in Austria. However, Adele's family fought for its return, claiming it as part of their cultural heritage. After a long legal battle, the masterpiece was returned to her relatives and later sold to an American art collector. Today, you can admire it at an exhibition in New York. The story of this artwork reminds us how deeply art and history are connected, and how artworks are not just objects, but valuable pieces of a society's past. The end. Now it's your turn to practice. Go to the LinguaTOEFL platform and try a few reading passages related to art and art history. You'll definitely come across many of the words we just covered. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more TOEFL vocabulary lessons. And remember, Scoring 100 plus on the TOEFL isn't rocket science. It's the little things you do that make all the difference. As always, I wish you a stellar TOEFL score. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.